Do you have anything to say on this here Saturday?
Nothing. Nothing to say at all? Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Hi, hello, welcome to another weekend vlog. I am here. It is so cool out today. I have my windows open. It's like 12 degrees right now. I'm thriving. Like this is not summer weather, but like this is so nice to have after the bullshit that we had for a while there. Guys, we had 2 days of tornado warnings in the past like week, which is not fun. And now everything seems to have evened out. Everything's cool again. It's been raining for the past few days. Oh my god. Anyways, I wanted to start this video by saying I have not finished a book in June. We are reaching criminally terrified levels. It's the fucking 13th today. Like, I have not finished a single book in June. What the fuck is wrong with me? So, this weekend, it's already Saturday. It's already like 2 p.m. on Saturday. From now on, I am going to be attempting to read a fuck ton of books, as many as I can possibly. So, let me gather what I'm thinking, and we'll chat. Number 1, quite obviously, I absolutely must finish my reread of Amina al-Sirafi. This has been plaguing me for weeks at this point. I need to finish this fucking reread. Not that I'm not enjoying this. I absolutely love this book. Let me just say. But I need to be done it. I need to be done it so that I can move on with my life, okay? I need to move on with my life. I forgot a book over here. Excuse. Guys, I have so many options for this next thing. I'm just like, honestly, the fuck is wrong, you know? I don't know at this point. I really don't. I have not been in a reading mood, and that is evidenced by the fact that I have not finished a single book in June. And yet, here I am with a pile of books that are possibilities that I'm not even like super into at this point. I'm just like, this is what I have in front of me. Anyway, so yeah, we have Amina al-Sirafi. And then, of course, I have the option of finishing or trying to finish the Fireborn trilogy, because y'all know how much I loved Fireborn. We have Flamefall and then Fury Song by Rosaria Munda. We could be reading these. We could be finishing these. Who's to say? We got those 2 YA fantasy epic books. We also have Sorcery of Small Magics by Magadusi, which is a cozy book if I'm feeling cozy. Cozy, sweet, soft, whimsical, if you will, and queer. I have 2 library books here that I could be reading, which I shouldn't be reading any library books because I have so many fucking actual books on my TBR, because of course I've been buying so many books in the month of June, and we're barely halfway through. Here's some things. We have Andrea Stewart's The Gods Below, which I have the audiobook for on Libby. I do want to try this because I didn't love her other series. I can't remember what it was called, but I read the first one of her other series and didn't really like it at all, so I never continued with that. So I want to try this one, see if I like it at all. We'll see. I also have The Court of Wanderers by Rin Chibeko, which could simultaneously let me finish a series and also polyamorous vampire hunters. You know what I mean? Vampires, vampire hunters could be a very fun queer time. So there's that one. I would love to read this India Holton, but I'd have to find the audiobook because it's not available on Libby quite yet. This is The Antiquarian's Object of Desire, which again would let me finish a series, of which my goal is to finish 10 series this year, and I have finished exactly 1, and we are halfway through the year, which is not scary at all. Not at all. I could do another reread. I could reread To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Monica Black Goose with the preparation of going into book 2. I picked this up last weekend. The Sins on Their Bones by Laura R. Samton. Could read this. Queer, dark, gritty, interesting, duology, you know? I thought I had more. Apparently that's all I have. I guess I could also read Travis Baldry's cozy book if I'm feeling cozy. I really just don't know what I want to read this weekend. Like, I'm gonna, number 1, finish Amina al-Sirafi. Number 2, I forgot about the Ode to the Half-Broken, which I'm currently reading as well. I completely forgot about that book. I'm also reading an arc, The Thief and the Traitor Bride by Vio Bovolino. Guys, I'm so shitty at reading arcs because they don't have an audiobook for it, so it's taking me so long to even remember I have it. So I have those 2 options on my Kobo as well if I want to continue them. But number 1, Amina al-Sirafi. Number 2, we'll find out. We'll find out my vibe, what kind of feeling I'm feeling. Epic fantasy, cozy fantasy, dark adult fantasy, queer fantasy. We'll see. We'll see what I'm feeling. But this is the vibe this weekend. I was gonna say I want to do like a 24-hour readathon, but that's just not a thing. I can't do that. I cannot do that. My brain space needs sleep. I could do a 12-hour readathon, but that would probably end up leaking into Monday, which I guess would be totally fine. So like a timer-led 12-hour readathon to like get back on track, see how many books I can read and 12 hours. Could do that. I could very much do that. We'll see. Let's lock in, my friends. Let's see if I can actually finish my first book of fucking June and then like actually get through a couple other books. God, that'd be so nice. It would be so nice. Because fuck, I'm so annoyed with myself for not having read anything in June. All I have really been doing is knitting. Like, I have not had the urge to pick up a book in the past few days because I got some more yarn in because I'm going to be knitting some t-shirts. I want to try some t-shirt projects. So I've started that and I'm zooming through one of those. So I'm going to be working on that at some point because I love doing things with my hands. I mean, granted, for the past few days, I haven't really been even doing any tiny bookshop playing, but y'all know how much I love that game. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but it's like at the end of every day, I'm like, oh, there goes another day where I haven't read or written or done anything. I've just been sat on my couch. So this weekend, we're going to lean into that sitting on my couch, except we're going to do it with a book in hand. And I'm going to say now I'm going to finish at least 2 books this weekend. I'm saying it now. 12-hour readathon. Let's see how many books I can read in 12 hours. Timer led. Let's fucking do this. Welcome to the vlog.
Are you a happy goose? Yeah. Hey.
Hello, friends. It is now much later. It's 2:30 in the morning. Hi. I love that I said I was going to do a 12-hour readathon today. Immediately did read for like 2 hours and some odd minutes. I don't know how many minutes. I can just look at my iPad. It's right here. 2 hours and 16 minutes. Finished my reread of The Adventures of al-Sirafi. Thank God. Finally did this. Knocked it off the list. Really fun reread. I had a great time. Did not remember so much of this book. So glad that I dove back in to see the setup of this series because I think it's going to be really interesting. Just the way that it's set up near the end. And I genuinely don't know how long this series is going to be because of the setup at the end. Like, are we going to be a classic fantasy trilogy with this? Are we going to be 5 books with the setup? Like, who's to say? I'm intrigued and down for that. But yeah, I finished that and immediately was like, I don't know what to read next. And I kind of waffled between Flamefall and Sorcery of Small Magics. And then I ended up doing neither and just starting to watch campaign 4 of Critical Role. Because apparently my brain was like, you know what would be great right now? If we start getting into this series that each episode is at least 4 hours long. Done 1.5 episodes. So I've been sat here since 6 and it is 2:30 in the morning and I've been watching Dungeons and Dragons content instead of reading. So hopefully I get more read tomorrow. I know my mom wants to go dress shopping tomorrow because I have a couple weddings this summer to go to. And I bought a couple things on Azazi. One of them I shouldn't have bought because it was final sale, but I did because I thought it was going to work perfectly and it very much does not. And then the other one I just returned. And my parents are like, you shouldn't buy so much online anymore. And I'm like, do you understand that I cannot find things in store because I am such a large human being? Like, not only am I 6'1", but I am plus size. I'm like a size 24 in dresses, right? Like, it's regular stores just don't have my sizes, right? And so my mom was like, oh, we should go to David's Bridal and see what they got because you got a nice bridesmaid dress there. And I looked on David's Bridal because I was like, maybe they have like nice wedding guest dresses. Their wedding guest dresses are fucking ugly as shit. I don't know what's going on. They're so bad. Like, and then they're like $200, $300, and I'm like, I'm not paying that much money for a dress that I'm probably gonna wear like once or twice in my life. What the shit, you know? So mom, and also you need an appointment to go to David's Bridal. I'm not gonna remind my mom of that. We're just gonna go at some point tomorrow because she's adamant that we go, and then we're gonna get turned away because you can't just go browse at a David's bridal. That's not a thing. And then I guess we're going for dinner. I'm not sure. I heard my dad say in the background that we're going to go to dinner tomorrow. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So other than that, I will try and read at some point. Yeah, I'm it's a toss up between continuing the Rosaria Munda trilogy or going into Sorcery of Small Magics by Magadusi. So we will see the vibe. We'll definitely see the vibe. And I have knitted so much of this t-shirt that I have also begun to suspect is too small because just the vibe of it, even though I'm following the pattern, I'm following the right size. I don't know. Just the vibe of it doesn't feel like it's exactly correct. And I cannot try this on right now because of my very, very, very tiny circular needles that it's on. I would have to transfer this entire thing onto a very large string to try it on and see, for then only to transfer it back onto the needles. And I'm just like, that's so much energy. Do I have that amount of energy in me right now? No. So maybe we'll be trying this on at some other point. But I also remember that knitting comes with blocking. So like I could block it potentially and it could grow a lot. I'm not sure. But this is a t-shirt. I got the pattern. I've been following this girl forever on TikTok. She's got so many different patterns. It's called the Tolsta tee. I cannot remember her name, but it's the Tolsta tee, and it's so cutie. And there's so many different things you can do with it. And I was just like, I'm just gonna do a basic Tolsta tee. We're gonna try it out. It's gonna be my first t-shirt knitted, and it's I got Drops Cotton Light. I think it's what it's called. Itty bitty little balls of yarn, and it is 50% cotton, 50% polyester, because I wanted cotton for the lightness of the material. And also I didn't want to just do 100% cotton because 100% cotton doesn't really hold its shape very well. So, and I didn't want to do acrylic because acrylic is hot in the summer. So I was like, maybe polyester, I guess, because that's kind of like what our clothes are made out of mostly. So I went with polyester for like structure. And then I also picked up another bundle of colors in a 50% cotton, 50% bamboo. And this is very soft, and I'm excited to try knitting with this because this is going to be delightful. This yarn is a teeny bit smaller than this one, but I'm doing this one as my like tester to see how the pattern goes, because I can already tell like I hate the way the German short rows are showing up on the front of the collar because they look so uneven, and I am doing my raglan increases incorrectly. I'm doing them the way that I'm doing them from my sweater that I've been working on, which is not the way that the pattern is asking for. And like the raglan increases at the top look fucking dumb because of the way I was doing that. And I didn't want to take the energy to learn how to do new things when I was doing the German short rows. So the tops look dumb. But I'm hoping that once it's all blocked, everything will kind of fix itself. Because like from far away, it'll be fine. And if there's still like weird little spots here and there, because every time I change a ball of yarn, also it's not like blending nicely, even though I'm trying all the tricks that people are saying online. I'm gonna like, I don't know, embroider some like flowers or something to like go over those little bits just to make it, something a little bit more wearable and doesn't look like super super handmade. I don't know. I don't know, we're just trying things out. And I'm so like addicted to knitting that my hand and wrist is so fucked up right now, which is why I'm wearing my brace. Anyways, yes, I really enjoyed my reread of Amina al-Sirafi. I think it was great. It's a stunning book. I love it so much. I think Shannon Chakraborty has such a way with her prose that it just works so well for telling a story, and falling back into one of her worlds is so fun. I could also go into the sequel if I wanted. It was the plan originally, but I'm like, do I want to spend more time in that world right at this moment? I don't know. That's the issue. I just don't know. I don't know the vibe because I'm not in a mood to read. Which is so unfortunate because I've now finished officially one book in June, and it's now the 14th. So we need to read a couple more books at least in June, because holy shit, I'm falling so far behind on my reading goals this year. Oh my god. It's fine. It's fine. We'll pick up. We'll power through some stuff. I think if I pick up Flamefall tomorrow, I might zoom right through this and then want to get to the third one and then zoom right through that, because these are YA and I have a tendency to really zoom through YA. So we'll find out. And like epic fantasy, I just blew through Fireborn when I read it with the first one. So I'm excited to keep reading in this story. And I also want to keep going in this before I forget anything about the series, because as we all know, my memory is atrocious. And it's more fun to read series when it's like all back to back to back to back. You know what I mean? Because then it's like the full story all in one. Who's to say? Who's to say, man? What I do know is that I need to go to bed. And what I do know is that I'm really enjoying campaign 4. so far. I have not yet finished campaign 3. I would have to go back and rewatch that. And for Critical Role, I should specify for those of you who are not in the know, I watched so much of campaign 3 and then fell off at a certain point. I think it was when they were on the moon. And I can't even watch any of the live shows that they've done because I don't want to get spoiled for anything for campaign 3. So I can't watch Jester and Ford's wedding. I can't do any of that because it's like I would just get spoiled for campaign 3. And I feel like campaign 3 would be so fun to actually like fully finish and watch because I think it's like the way that I've kind of seen online a little bit of what Matt is doing with the story of that one is bringing back a lot of characters from previous campaigns, and it's like a nice finishing of the Exandria world with those characters. You know what I mean? So because we're on Brennan's world, which is Araman, which is completely new and different, and it has different lore that we get to learn with this campaign. And it's so fun with the 13 people who are like, it's like a rotating table. It's very fun. I'm loving the way it is, and I'm really excited to see how, because I'm only halfway through episode 2 of of campaign 4, that I don't know how he splits it up, because I know from just being in the vibe of like I have Beacon, I'm like, you know, on TikTok and Critical Role sometimes pop up. I know that they split the table and they say this is the table that's on tonight. This is the table that's on tonight. And I'm like, how did they do that? I want to see. And I think it's such a fascinating way to tell a story, because so far, like, the first episode was so fantastic that I was like, I wish this was a TV show because I want to see this animated. Like, this feels so good and juicy with all the different characters. So yeah. And I also I think because I've been having such a absolutely abysmal year for creativity of any kind, like writerly creativity, I should say, because I've been doing a lot of like crafty stuff, but like writerly creativity with like Far Horizons and Cosmic Latte and all that kind of stuff. All the plans I have been like ground to a fucking halt because my brain just doesn't want to do anything. I don't know whether I'm craving stories though, and I feel like I haven't watched D&D in a really long time. I haven't like kept up with like Dimension 20 or anything, and I'm just like, I'm craving it. I miss this feeling of being able to just like watch so many shows all back to back to back to back. So I'm wondering if that'll help refill the well of like seeing how this story like is laid out and how the characters make decisions and all that kind of stuff, because usually when I'm watching D&D stuff, it gives me inspiration for things. I'm hoping that it gives me a little nugget of something that makes something spark to life, because I have Tuesday, when I was supposed to do some summer teaching, I ended up not having to do any summer teaching because we had a tornado warning. And it was bad because that tornado did show up. In fact, 3 did. Not like in the, like, nothing touched down in the city, but it like there were funnel clouds in the city and like around the city, and the northern part of our city was really badly hit, so with storms and stuff like that, so I didn't have to go teach. And that night it's like my brain was just like, wow, I have so much time, I can do so many things. So I was like, what if I just work on Cosmic Latte, because originally that was the plan for June, once I was done piano, to just like let myself work on something completely different from Far Horizons to see if that would unlock anything. And so I started working on this a little bit more. And I think what's stopping me a little bit with this one specifically is how vast this universe is and what I have to plan before I can even start planning the story, because there is so much world building that needs to go into the story that I'm like, bitch, I don't know where to even start. And I've like kind of picked away at it a little bit. I've just like dipped my toe into this because I know my main characters, I know our like catalyst character, I'll call him, and I know like the rough framework of Mal and Kaya's backstory, my 2 main characters' backstory. I know the vague framework of like how they know each other and their history. And then I know now the vague framework of what the fuck happened with humans and the universe, because I'm like, okay, this is so far in the future. Like, this is the year 3305. Like, it is so far in the future, because it was gonna originally be 2305, and then I was like, okay, but if they're looking for ancient lore, essentially, and ancient tech from around our time, from around, or like 100 years, 200, 300 years in the future from us, when we would have theoretically been like exploring space more and like having these contacts and finding this universe beyond ours, I'm thinking, you know, making up tech as I go. I'm like, what they would be looking for wouldn't be a couple hundred years ago, it would be thousands of years ago, right? So I'm like, okay, because it has to have reached this like level of myth almost. Why? I don't know. In my brain it has to. So I was like, okay, we're just gonna make it 3,305. The year 3305, which sounds fake because it is fake. That year doesn't exist. That's crazy. But I was like, okay, this is where we're at. And then I'm like, okay, they're like looking at relics from like 2100 roughly when all this shit is happening. And then I like planned out very bare bones what was happening and like the history of it. And then at the end of it, I was like, okay, just talking to myself, right? Literally, like, I'm thinking out this at this point, this story and beginning to humanity in space has been diluted into forgotten and or twisted into something akin to a religion in some more weird and secluded human colonies. Like, I'm thinking of this kind of thing, like setting up the world. Why? Because the hook of this story is that we have Malcolm and Kaya, our two bounty hunters, who work for separate bosses, but once a year they meet up at this little cafe, and the cafe owner, Damaran, is a lovely man who has a little daughter and a husband, and he's been like making a life for himself on this very, very far outer ring planet, very out of the way, super tiny, idyllic little planet, right? He's living his best life. And then one day when Kaya and Mal meet up for their yearly little bounty hunter get together, they get an alert from their bosses separate. There's an alert, a job that goes out that they need to capture and bring in alive this criminal from X amount of years ago that supposedly stole this incredibly, incredibly important ancient artifact that was believed to be a myth for so long but is actually real because the government is like, we actually need that bit of tech, thanks. And they get the lore, they get the job, they're looking at this job, they look up at each other and they go, this sounds an awful lot like our friend, the cafe owner. And then Damaran goes, motherfucker, actually, you guys are gonna need to help me. Otherwise, I'm fucked. He like loops them in somehow. Because it is Damaran. This was his ex life. He was a treasure hunter at some point with a crew of people back in the day, 10 years ago or whatever. And they did not actually find this relic, but they were the ones who got the closest. And one of their party members of the original ship made it sound like they had found it just to spread the rumor of it, and like ended up having to scatter their entire party to like different reaches of the universe because they were too much under pressure, too much under, like, you know, they were getting too much flack for it and too many eyes on them, so they had to like, you know, scatter because they did not actually find this artifact. They were believed to have found it. So now they are, Mal and Kaya end up taking Damaran on their ship and running because they now have to outrun all the other bounty hunters who are on Damaran's trail, and also they have to now try and find this bit of tech all over again to like clear Damaran's name because he's a friend of theirs, right? So it's like, well, shit. So that's the whole thing. That's what kicks us off. So I needed to figure out that bit of tech. Like, what was the bit of tech that they were supposed to have found but didn't? What is the significance of that technology to this world? And then it's going to be like, okay, I have to now figure out all of the planets and shit. I have so many ideas for different planets. And it's going to be so fun to like have them go visit some of these planets to find people, to find clues, because they're also going to have to track down each of Damaran's old party members because they're going to need information from each of them, and they're going to like maybe pick up a couple on the way, but mostly just get information from them so that they can keep going on their quest. And it's going to be fun. There's a space cat. Her name is Bandit, and she's going to look like Freya because of course she is, because Freya is going to exist in every single one of my books in some shape or form. And there's also going to be a little like helper mech, which is called, his name is Terry, and he's a little helper mech who's like built for gardening and stuff, to like help in the garden on farms and things, but he doesn't like gardening. He actually really likes making coffee. And so he's like a little terrarium helper mech, but he likes making coffee, and he likes helping people directly. He doesn't really care for gardening and getting dirty, so he like is part of the ship tech. He's Mal's kind of like, he's Mal's little buddy that Mal picked up at some point, and like Mal like just is like a protective father to him because Terry is the greatest. And I'm so excited to dabble with this crew of people, but like there's so much of this fucking thing that I have to figure out. I think what I really have to do is start mapping out a plot like the big plot beats that I want to happen, and then figure out what I need to know to be able to write those things so that I don't world build my way into a hole and never come out. Because that is something that I have done before for a story. I just get too caught up in the weeds and too in the world building, and then I never get out. So I think that's what I should do, is like start plotting this a little bit kind of rough, of like, okay, this needs to happen, so what needs to happen before and after, kind of a thing. And then like if there's anything that I need to know about the world or the characters involved, then like figure that out, kind of a thing. It's gonna be a very backwards way of plotting and doing things, but I think that's what I'm gonna have to do anyways. So yeah, that's Cosmic Latte, if you were so curious to see some of the art that I got going on for it. That's not really art, I guess. This is a sticker page, and this is the thing I built on Canva with some people from Pinterest. Anyways, I've now been yapping for so long, but yeah, I have let myself in June free of the idea that I should be working on Far Horizons, because I think Far Horizons is just completely bogging me down at the moment. It's like pulling teeth. It's like trying to wade through quicksand and gum. Like it's not good, and I don't know what I need to do to fix it. I really don't. So I was like, maybe I just need to let my brain think of something else. So I've been kind of tinkering with Cosmic Latte. So we'll see if that happens with anything. But yeah, I miss writing. I miss being in my creative bag. But for some reason this year, we're almost halfway through 2026, and nothing is functioning in my creative brain, and I don't know whether I'm burnt out. I don't know if it's the state of the world, if it's something else, if I just need to completely do a different project, or if I just need to buckle the fuck down and get it done to free myself of it. I don't know. I really don't. So that's where I'm at creatively. So I've just been, knitting. I haven't been reading, haven't been writing. I've been knitting. All right, guys. I will chat to you guys tomorrow for Sunday. So see you then.
Open this box. Hey, Lucy. This. Ooh, it's the aardvark box. Oh, it's so pretty, baby. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. There we go. Use your face. Okay. You love it? I love it too. You're so cute. What are you doing? You love that box, right? Smooth. Smooth. You're so cute. No, ma'am. That's supposed to keep it in the wall. No, ma'am. Hey, no. Get your teeth off of that, you goon. You're being a goon.
Hello, friends. Oh my god. What a fucking weekend, guys. It's officially fucking happy Monday. How do I do this? I don't know. I fucking finished 3 books this weekend. It only took me 13 and a half hours of reading straight, but I did it. I finished 3 books, and they were all amazing. And guys, the way that I want to yap about this series right now, but I don't even know if I have the words. Like, this is one of the best trilogies I have ever read. Like, sure, I read them so fast that, like, low key, I don't know if I could tell you if the pacing was off because I read both of these in like one sitting. You know what I mean? Like, basically 2 sittings, I guess. Flamefall all in one, and then Fury Song mostly like in 2 sittings. This was stunning. This was absolutely incredible. I don't know what to say. Like, they were so well thought out, all 3 of these books. They were so stunningly mapped, and it was such a fascinating look at classism and poverty and what people will do in a time of such upheaval. And there's so many twists and turns, and it's just, and like, I really, really, really wanted the ending of Fury Song to be really, really satisfying for me, and it isn't quite as satisfying as I was hoping it would be, but I think it was beautifully done, and I think the way that Rosaria Munda left it right at the end, and I'm very glad she did that in a little open way. Although in my head, it's not like the way that I was feeling when I finished not Brissinger, Inheritance, sorry, the Aragon saga. When I finished that one, I was so mad at Christopher Paolini. I'm thinking of this because it has to do with dragons and dragon riders and young people at the helm of so much power, and just with their poor shoulders being laden with so much grief and like the responsibilities on these kids' shoulders is insane. Fuck, these books are so dark. Like, you could market these as adult. Like, if Rosaria Munda had made this, like if she had made Lee and Annie 4 years older, not even 2 years older, like, because Lee is 18 by the end of these books, and Annie is 17, and like the span of these books is barely a year. Like, it is insanity. Like, they are just children, and they're dealing with all of this. And it's so insane because I had to keep reminding myself, especially in Flamefall, the shit they were going through in Flamefall. Oh my god. Like, the brutal. War on Dragonback is brutal. And the abuse and the power and the gross, there's a word for it, but the point of view of the people who used to be in power, who deem people to be servants and that they own everybody, the way that they treated others. And it's not even that I'm thinking about like the guy at the head of it all, Ixion, who is Lee's cousin, I guess, in this. I'm not even thinking of Ixion specifically. I'm thinking of everybody else who was Dragonborn in here, who is like Dragonborn and they think themselves to be the rulers, right? And even though, so this whole series kicks off with this world that has been changed for the past 10 years because there was an uprising, a revolution, and a coup. Hi, baby. You got something to say? Wonderful, thank you. She's running around. The world has been changed for like 10 years since Lee's family, because Lee is the son of the Dragon Lord, right? He's the youngest son. He was forgotten. A guard basically took him away and let him live while his whole family died on Palace Day, and it was dripping with blood, as is apt for an entire coup bloodbath, right? You take out everybody of that blood. And so we are opened up on this series with this new regime in power and these kids who have been brought up as dragon riders, as guardians, and they are basically in Fireborn, you open up on the first of many different trials where they are competing for a spot in the fourth order. So there's 4 of them that will be like top, and then eventually they will battle again for first rider and Alternus, like the top and then Alternus. And then eventually down the road, they then would be in line to basically rule, where this guy Atreus has like taken over. He's the guy who's basically ruling things now. He's first protector or something. Like, he is basically king at this point, but not with the same vibe. And he has put into place a different regime. Like, he basically has taken, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, he took this terrible regime that was set up by the Dragon Lords and then put in an equally terrible one, just in slightly different ways. And people don't really realize it until they're in another fucking war. Right? Because it's like, no matter what happens, the people who are looked down upon will be the first to die. Right? And it's instead of the people separated by where they are and where they're born and who they are and their family names, it's separated by their skills. So if you are unskilled, you are given the least amount of rations. You are basically not let into forts when dragons are attacking, and you are left to burn. And it's all these different things, right? So it's the golds are at the top. They're the ones who ride dragons, and you know, everybody else is different. So it's a skilled situation. So that's why they thought it was more fair, because then like people in the same family would be of different castes. It's still incredibly classist and awful. And it comes to shine through the events of these three books that the kids who are Annie and Lee, who are running this, like, Lee does not want to be in this regime that his father built. And he deeply believes in Atreus's regime until Atreus shows his entire ass. And then Lee's like, what the fuck? And it's these kids who are like, we don't want any of this. We want equality. We want to help our people. We want something different. Like, this is not working. We have to figure out what's working. And then it's a coup, a counter coup. Fucking, there's other people across the fucking sea who are also being ruled by the other people on the other side of the war, the new Pathos. Those are the people who were the Dragonborns who got free originally from Palisade. They're the ones who are still alive, and they have a fleet of dragons as well, and dragon riders, and they are coming to attack Callipolis, and they are taking over again. And then it's the people who were in New Pathos who were being shat on because their whole world was taken over by these Dragonborn people who came in and like sat on their throne basically, and it's them uprising. And it's so much, and it's so fantastic across these three books, and you meet the most wonderful people. And oh my god, like, this was fucking awesome. Awesome. It was amazing. It was so fun, and I cannot wait to reread these now that I know what happens to everybody. Now that I know who is dead and who is not. Like, now I know, after all the grief and just the tears pouring down my face, and like, I'm still doing it. I'm still getting a little misty over some of the things that happen in these books, because fuck, these kids don't deserve that. Annie, in the end, she dreams so fiercely of just being nobody again. And it's just like, oh my god, my sweet summer child, she's 17 and she's in love with her best friend, and she just wants a quiet life. And then she's so broken at this point, and I sit there and I'm like, oh my god, this poor child, like, she's dreaming of being a nobody and dancing in a kitchen, in a sun-baked kitchen with life around her. That's what she's dreaming of after she's ridden dragons for the past 10 years. And I'm just like, this hurts. This hurts, because holy shit, does she, like, all these kids, they deserve a soft life. And I think what Rosaria Munda did right at the end, and set up for us to like be satisfied that this chapter of this world is closed. These characters are now going on to the next chapter of their lives. I think she set up something absolutely beautiful with what Lee ends up doing and what he ends up choosing. And it's just like, these two kids went through so much. They went through so many changes and belief system changes and torture, and fuck, it was so dark. Some of these books were so dark. Like, there's a scene where Annie gets branded by Ixion. He takes a cattle brand and brands her because she is, to him, a serf. She's nothing more than a peasant who stepped too high. Fuck, is it? Oh, Ixion can suck an egg. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. These books were fucking amazing. Like, it refueled something in me, this trilogy. And I'm so glad that I finished them when I wanted to. And I'm so glad that I did this readathon. Even though it took me 13 and a half hours, not just 12, to finish all the books that I was reading. But oh my god, what a trilogy. I'm gonna be thinking about this trilogy for so long. And it's like, it's one of those trilogies that I'm like, okay, now that I've settled and read it, I can't wait to reread it. Like, I love the dragons, I love the lore, the politics are so good. Like, I want to study these now as an author and see what Rosario Mundo was doing, because I think that would be so fascinating to go into. And it's like reading these has like rekindled my love of dragons, which is not something that was hard because I fucking love dragons. But like my brain, my little tiny brain was like, what about Project Dragon? You put that down so long ago. What about Project Dragon? And I'm like, bitch, I haven't thought about Project Dragon in years properly. I don't have the space or time to deal with it, but I'm just like, dragons, like dragons. Anyways, my friends, we've made it to the end of this vlog. Yesterday, I ended up going shopping with mom, and we found 2 dresses that would work for the weddings this summer. And one of them we had to put on hold at a different store in the city. So today I went and grabbed that. And it fits great because it was, you know, the size that I tried on at the store that we were at was slightly too small, and I'm just like, no, I just want the size up to like feel like I have a little bit more breathing room, right? Like it zipped, it was fine, but like just the way that it sat, it was just like, no, I want the size up so that it sits nicer, and this one sits so nice, it's so pretty. So I now have 2 dresses for the weddings this summer, and I'm gonna get my maid of honor dress from last summer altered. I'm gonna get it hemmed to like a T length so that I have that as another option for weddings and like special events, because I'm at the time of my life right now where my friends are trying to get married. So I'm like, I need dresses to go to this, I need things to go to, so I'm now set. I'm good. That was great. And then we went for pizza last night, and then I came home and read for so fucking long. I read for 8 hours almost yesterday, which is crazy. I was so sucked into Flamefall, there was no way I was letting go. I was even thinking, I was like, okay, I'll finish Flamefall and then I'll watch some more Critical Role. No, the ending of Flamefall, I immediately reached for Fury Song because I was like, what the fuck was that ending? So just know that if you start this trilogy because of my sobbing and weeping and gushing over it, make sure you have access to all 3 books, okay? Please, just promise me, because you're gonna want them, because it was that good. It was that good. If you're at all worried about the fact that it is like a school setting in the first one, it really isn't. It's the start of this bigger political game, and it's just like the setting of it. It's not even really a school. Like, yeah, sometimes we're in class, but it's like we're not learning, we're not sitting there learning with the kids. It's more of like watching these personalities and relationships work with each other, with like teachers and like that kind of a thing. And then it's the, you know, the first one's more of a relationship shit show with these 16, 17-year-olds, right? And then it's the realization of what's going on in the background, and then the granting of more power and the taking on of more power, and then the fucking bullshit that happens at the end, and the realization that a war is on the horizon and all this kind of stuff, right? So it's like the slow build. Anyways, read it. Read these books, please. Holy shit. Anyways, my friends, I gotta end this, I gotta edit this, and I gotta get it up for you guys. So thank you so much for hanging out with me this weekend as I finally finish books in June. We are now up to 3 in June. Oh my god, a well-needed 12-hour readathon for sure. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in another video very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.